On this edition of City Focus, meet the 2017-2018 Valdosta Youth Council. See highlights of the city's second annual dumpster art event. We update citizens on the continuing cleanup effort after Hurricane Irma. A Valdosta citizen gets the opportunity to meet the firefighters that saved their son's life. In studio, we have City Marshal James Dean to discuss Bulk Trash Amnesty Day. These stories and more on this edition of City Focus. Welcome to City Focus. I'm Marcus McConico, the media coordinator for the City of Valdosta. This is the 19th episode of City Focus in 2017. City Focus is your source for what's happening within your government. These are the most important topics that are happening in the city. On September 28th, the Valdosta Police Department and the City of Valdosta held the first of 3 community forums on a proposed new curfew and parental responsibility ordinance. The meetings are designed to hear feedback and concerns from the community on the proposed ordinance. The goal of the new ordinance is to prevent juveniles from being charged with a serious crime, prevent serious injuries to juveniles, help parents who may require assistance, and reduce crime at night. The next 2 meetings are October 4th at the Mildred Hunter Center and October 12th at Morningside Baptist Church, both at 7 p.m. The forums are open to anyone that wants to attend. If you cannot make it to either forum, citizens can contact the Valdosta Police Department with questions. And they are always welcome to City Council meetings. The next City Council meetings are October 5th and October 19th at 5:30 p.m. in Council Chambers. Valdosta City Council recognized Lieutenant John Herpin of the Valdosta Fire Department for being selected as a recipient of the 2017 Life-Saving Valor Award. He received the award for getting a 9-year-old boy out of a fire, saving his life.
The night of April 20th, in the morning hours of April 21st, me and my crew on Engine 2, we responded to a fire investigation on Claudia Circle. A woman had smelled something burning in her air conditioner area, so we went to that home to investigate. And while we were there, a structure fire had come in on Ponderosa, 1316 Ponderosa. And that was literally 3 blocks away from where we were currently at. So our response time to the scene was extremely fast, and we got reports en route from dispatch that there was a child still trapped inside the structure.
Each firefighter headed to the scene was reminded of what they were walking into.
Whenever there's a report of someone trapped, whether it be a child or a grown person, the tension levels get higher, obviously. So when we responded and we had reports that the child was trapped inside the home, I spoke to my crew in the trucks, let them know what, because we're busy getting dressed and getting prepared for the scene. I told the crew, we have a possible trapped child, so just kind of get your game ready. As we approached the front door, we could hear the child inside the structure. I have 3 children of my own. I have a 12-year-old, and soon to be a 10-year-old, and soon to be a 2-year-old. So just glad I could be here.
He said the training that he and his fellow firefighters go through prepared them for the situation.
We train our entire lives to do this job. We prepare ourselves as best we can, physically, emotionally, mentally, to handle anything that we're faced with. So when we got to the front door of the structure and we could hear the child inside screaming for help, I turned to my crew, and I had firefighter Jamie Sapp with me, Corporal Nicholas Bishop. They were the 2 firefighters assigned to my truck that night, and I had Sergeant Harris driving. I had complete faith in my crew. When we were at the front door, I grabbed my firefighters and I told them to put the fire out, and I was going to find the child. And that's what I did.
Herpin took charge of the scene. As his crew fought the fire, he used the skills he was taught and the equipment given to him to find and save the boy. The child's mother, Danielle Lewis, couldn't be more appreciative of his heroic actions.
As my crew made entry to attack the fire, I went in ahead of them, and I was going to where I could hear the child screaming. And using my thermal imager, I was able to locate the hallway and then finally locate the bedroom that he was in. And at that point, I was able to really focus in on what I'd been trained to do. So the first thing I did was when I made entry into that bedroom, I closed the door behind me to isolate me and him from the rest of the scene that was going on outside, that was going on inside the kitchen and the living room area where my crew was fighting fire. And then at that point, I located a window, opened that window up, made sure I didn't break any of the glass because he was in his pajamas and didn't have any shoes on. And I was able to ascertain that whenever he jumped into my arms, I was able to tell that he wasn't burnt, that I could tell, but he was in his pajamas. So I opened that window up, I placed him outside, then I came out right after him. And really, all that falls right back to my training.
To know who was there, I really wanted to know, because that was the worst experience I ever went through. Not knowing if he was gonna be breathing or not breathing when he brought him out, or either or. That was just like the worst ever. It meant so much to see them both running around the house.
For more information, contact the Valdosta Fire Department at 229-333-1836. The City of Valdosta, Valdosta Main Street, the Annette Howell Turner Center for the Arts, and the Public Arts Advisory Committee hosted the second annual Dumpster Art event. A group from Barnes Health Care Services were happy to turn trash into art, along with 2 other artists.
I jumped at the opportunity. I always wanted to do something on a big scale. And also I've seen some of the other dumpsters around town and wanted to get in and participate. So we put together a team, got some ideas together, voted on them, and that's what we came up with. I think it's awesome. You can take something unsightly, something that's ugly, something that's not usually associated with being lovely and presentable, pleasing to the eyes, and turning it into something beautiful. That's what making art is all about.
The Valdosta Youth Council primed the dumpsters before the artists began, and some got to help with the finished product.
Really cool, since an old friend of mine is part of their group. I feel like I'm recycling very well. It's very, very cool, because I like drawing, but I didn't think I would get the chance to actually help with something.
They believe that the new works of art will beautify the community.
I think it's good because it turns something that usually people wouldn't think twice about into something that's beautiful, and it brings something nice back into the world.
For more information on dumpster art, contact Public Information. As part of the second annual dumpster art project, one dumpster was painted by students at Lowndes Middle School. Over 166 7th and 8th graders painted a design that represents the agriculture that is prominent in the Valdosta and Lowndes County community.
In the first day that I was here, we painted the cotton. The second day, I helped painting the pecans. And then we got Miss Pay help with painting the blueberries. We were gonna do the flowers, but then they were kind of hard, so yeah, we painted the blueberries instead. They're the agricultural things that we grow here and produce.
We're just really grateful for this opportunity, not only for the art program here at LMS, but definitely for Lowndes Middle School, for the City of Valdosta and all who took a part in that. We're so excited to see our finished product out in the community, and we hope that it encourages others to do the same.
For more information, visit valdostacity.com/dumpster-art.
Hi, I'm Mark with the American Red Cross. I'm down here in Immokalee, Florida, one of the areas hit hardest by Hurricane Irma. And the families and individuals staying at this Red Cross shelter, some of them have lost everything. The Red Cross is here with them today, tomorrow, and the days and weeks to come. The community will rebuild, and we'll be with them every step of the way.
back to City Focus. Twice a year, the city hosts a bulk trash amnesty day in effort to keep the city clean. We have City Marshal James Dean in studio to talk to us about the importance of this event. Welcome to the show, James.
Thank you.
The city has held these bulk trash amnesty days for a while. Why is it so important to the city?
Well, just like make a difference, the city wants to make a difference. We want to keep the city clean, and the city understands that people may have junk that they necessarily don't want to put out in front of their house, or they think they're going to get charged a lot for it. So they offer amnesty, so you can bring it to our site at 1015 Myrtle Street for free. So we want to inspire people to bring their stuff out just to keep the city clean. And you know, that may help eliminate some vermin.
Okay. And this year's event is being held on October 28th. What do citizens need to do in order to participate?
What the citizen needs to do is make sure they have a copy of their water bill. And they need to bring the stuff, like I said, to 1015 Myrtle Street. If they're elderly citizens and they need some help, if they would just call us, we may can, provide some assistance in, loading their stuff up, or, just assist them to make it a little bit easy transition to get their junk where it's needed. But they do need to remember that we're not going to take any chemicals, we're not going to take any electronics. Leave your yard trash on the curb so they can pick that up. And if you're going to bring a tire, make sure it's not on the rim.
Okay. And we just talked about some of those things that, those items that we can't bring. And I know there's some other things like paint and things like that that we can't bring. There's also been a location change this time around. We've had 4 locations. We've had 2 locations. This time there's only 1. What was behind that decision to only have that 1 location?
Well, that 1 location, it kind of it aids the city on getting it cleaned up quicker. By taking that, bringing the stuff to the Public Works yard, we have access to actually taking more without leaving a mess in another location. So by everybody bringing their stuff to the 1 location on Myrtle Street, it's easier access. We can control it a whole lot better, and we can get it taken care of quicker than we can if we had 4 locations, which kind of spreads us thin. And, we had the storm already, and we're kind of strung out right now, and we're still going to do this event, but this kind of makes it a whole lot easier for us to do what we need to do, and actually citizens can kind of combine with each other and find it a whole lot easier too.
Okay. James, thank you for coming on City Focus and talking to us about Bulk Trash Amnesty Day, and we'll be back here on City Focus.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Scott. And I'm Drew Scott. We've seen how recent hurricanes have devastated whole communities, flooding and destroying homes. Join Habitat for Humanity as we work with families to repair and rebuild. You can help someone desperately in need of a place to call home. We will rebuild, but only with your help. Visit habitat.org to support Habitat's work.
Children are our greatest resource. That's why we're reminding child care programs and families to always look again. 10 minutes is all it takes for the inside of the vehicle to reach deadly temperatures. So every time you get out of the car, check the front and back and then look again. Make sure the car is locked, even in your driveway or garage. And if you ever see a child left alone in a car, call 911 immediately. We can save lives if we all look again!
On September 21st, Valdosta Youth Council held their first meeting of the year. Judge Bender swore in the Valdosta Youth Council officers at the regular meeting, and the entire council was sworn in by Mayor John Gale at City Council meeting. The new and returning members all have high hopes for the upcoming year.
We have great potential with this new group, and that we'll be able to not only show ourselves what we can do, but also show our community what we can do and prove to them that our youth have a big say. I'm excited for this year.
I expect to get something good for the community and good for the peers and help out people.
For more information, like the Valdosta Youth Council Facebook page. Members of the Valdosta Fire Department are constantly training, and recently they had a home donated for the purpose of a training burn.
We'll take these guys inside, we'll light a fire, and we'll teach them, how the fire grows and how it develops inside. And then we'll show them the proper way to attack it with the nozzle. And then we'll show them the improper way, and then we'll show them the proper way again. That way they it's basically a refresher for these guys. These guys are already certified firefighters, and they're just going through a refresher course. Just like any profession, you have to refresh your skills.
This type of training is priceless for each and every firefighter going through it.
This is the best training they could possibly get. In turn, this is the most dangerous training that we can possibly do. We're actually putting them in a building that is on fire, and we're putting them in conditions that we control the conditions, whereas a regular structure fire, we can't control the conditions to a point until we get in there and put them out.
The department is looking for the community's help to find more buildings to provide this form of training.
Very valuable asset that and we'd like to put it out there that if anyone in the city of Valdosta has a building that is available, we would like to like for them to call us and make contact with us about it in regards to it. And there, of course, there is an assessment process that we have to go through with the building to make sure that it is safe for fire conditions, and then it has to be asbestos tested and some other things, as you see, have had to be done to this one. This has been a 2-week process of getting this building prepared for today.
For more information, contact the Valdosta Fire Department at 229-333-1836. Lieutenant Jeffrey Talley of the Valdosta Fire Department is the September 2017 Employee of the Month. In April, VFD firefighters responded to 2 separate fires with 4 dogs needing to be rescued. EMS used a human oxygen mask to provide oxygen to the dogs. These incidents spurred Lieutenant Talley to look for resources for pets suffering from smoke inhalation. He found a company called Invisible Fence, who donates pet oxygen masks through Project Breathe. The fire department received a donated supply of 1 oxygen mask kit per engine truck containing a small, medium, and large mask designed for animals. Firefighters are now trained to administer oxygen with these masks to animals. Metro 17 congratulates Lieutenant Talley for being named the September 2017 Employee of the Month. The City of Valdosta will host its 2nd annual Affordable Housing Summit and Town Hall meeting on Saturday, October 14th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Mildred Hunter Community Center. The event will provide affordable housing information and resources from over 20 agencies and organizations, along with service information from several City of Valdosta departments. The event will benefit homeowners, renters, and anyone seeking information about affordable housing. For more information, contact the Neighborhood Development Division at 229-671-3617. Now let's take a look at what's taking place in the city in the coming weeks. October 2nd, Valdosta Historic Preservation Commission meeting, 5:30 in the City Hall Annex Multipurpose Room. October 3rd, Valdosta Lowndes County Zoning Board of Appeals, 2:30 in the City Hall Annex Multipurpose Room. October 3rd, Valdosta City Council Work Session, 5:30 in Council Chambers. October 5th, Valdosta City Council Meeting, 5:30 in Council Chambers. October 6th, First Friday beginning at 6 p.m. in downtown Valdosta. October 9th, Valdosta Tree Commission Meeting, 5:15 in the City Hall Annex Engineering Conference Room. October 10th, Central Valdosta Development Authority Board Meeting, 5 p.m. in the City Hall Annex Multipurpose Room. October 11th, Valdosta Lowndes County Airport Authority Meeting, 8 a.m. at the Airport Conference Room. Georgia Initiative for Community Housing, 9 a.m. in the City Hall Annex Multipurpose Room. October 14th, Rivers Alive Cleanup, beginning at 8:30 a.m. Downtown Valdosta Farm Days, 9 a.m. behind historic Lowndes County Courthouse. October 16th, Valdosta Housing Authority Meeting, 12 p.m. at 610 East Ann Street. October 16th, KLVB Board Meeting, 5:30 in the City Hall Annex Multipurpose Room. October 17th, Valdosta Lowndes County Development Authority Meeting at 103 Roosevelt Drive. To stay informed with what's happening in the city, sign up for the weekly e-news blast at valdostacity.com/public-information or call Public Information Officer Samantha Matthews at 229-259-3548. City departments are working hard to clean up the city after Hurricane Irma. Metro 17 produced a short video to thank everyone that is participating in the cleanup effort. Take a look. Hurricane Irma was the strongest storm on record in the Atlantic. It spent more than 3 days as a Category 5 hurricane, the longest in the satellite era. On Friday, September 8th, Irma was on track to go directly over Valdosta before moving slightly west over the weekend. By September 11th, over 70,000 residents in Lowndes County were without power, trees were down around the city, and Valdosta employees were working around the clock to meet the needs of the community. Multiple city departments began preparing for the impending storm. The city lowered the water levels at the mill pond, cleared out trouble spots in the collection system, put personnel on standby, and additional personnel were assigned to key city facilities. Workers also made sure that all necessary small equipment, generators, and vehicles were inspected and fueled, plus handheld radios and cell phones were fully charged. The Valdosta water plant and water treatment plants were manned around the clock. The city opened Mathis Auditorium as a shelter for local citizens in mobile homes or less safe housing who needed a safe place during the storm. Members of the Valdosta Fire Department served as administrators at the facility, which housed 213 during the weather event. VC3 had prepared before the storm to back up the computer systems to a different server to save information in the event of a flood or damage to City Hall. City Hall opened for business Monday, September 11th at 5:30 a.m., with 3 city employees ready to respond to all citizens' concerns. All mission-critical department lines were transferred to City Hall the night before to support a central information office. Others provided food for emergency workers. During the storm, the Valdosta Police Department never stopped responding to calls, adding an additional 50 personnel on duty to maintain public safety services. The department received 407 calls on September 11th, more than twice the typical number of calls.
Couldn't have got through the hurricane without the cooperation of every emergency agency in the city. It was just a great way for we all got together, we all worked, we all made sure everybody else was safe. We would find the trees. The Valdosta Fire Department did a stand-up job, and like I said, without them, without everybody working together, it just wouldn't have been possible.
Engineering dispatched calls from the Emergency Operations Center and responded to over 100 calls, had 12 full-time stormwater employees, 3 Arbor crew members, and the traffic division worked the entire storm. Irma's force took out over 24 of the city's 126 signalized intersections and closed a dozen roads. By Wednesday, power at all intersections were restored, and by the end of the week, all roads were open except one. The Arbor Division continues to respond to tree issues and will likely continue to do so for weeks.
Responsibilities during the storm was we go out, remove trees off the road, remove different debris. It's real dangerous. You don't know what could happen, especially with all the lights and stuff that went out that night when we first got here. You may can hit a power line if you're not looking.
Public Works had 10 employees ride out the storm with an additional 3 employees who relieved the 10 as winds began to decrease late Monday afternoon. The crew cleared roads of downed limbs and trees for first responders. In just a week after the storm, crews working in 2 shifts daily from 11 p.m. to 7 p.m. utilized 5 claw trucks and 9 truck trailers have picked up over 600 tons of debris.
On the first day, we started getting prepared, bringing the chainsaws in, getting ready for the storm. Then on the night of the storm, we saw a bunch of tops of trees laid over in the roads, which we actually pushed over off to the side to clear the right-of-ways for the emergency vehicles.
Valdosta Fire Department normally has 27 firefighters and 6 engines on call around the clock. During the storm, 38 firefighters worked on 8 engines and the GSAR truck, and additional personnel worked at the EOC. VFD, which typically responds to 20 calls a day, responded to 259 calls during the storm. After serving Valdosta's needs, the GSAR Task Force 2 deployed with 38 task force members, 11 from VFD, to assist search and rescue efforts in Camden County.
Of course, we had power lines down, we had trees, things like that we dealt with. It was a great impact to the city of Valdosta, but the team here, Valdosta and Lowndes County, they were really effective. We had efficient efforts throughout the city.
Utilities positioned city-owned generators and rental generators at lift stations prior to the storm. This pre-planning, along with significant improvements made to the city's wastewater collection system in recent years, allowed the staff to respond quickly to the 19 lift stations that lost power during the storm. The preparation of utilities personnel minimized storm overflows to only one minor spill at Bemis Road. The water plant on Guest Road and the Withlacoochee wastewater treatment plant also utilize backup generators to provide uninterrupted water and wastewater collection services to citizens.
Citizens getting their services throughout the storm, and I mean, that's us just doing our job and making sure they're taken care of, and that's what we're here for.
We would like to thank all the dedicated city employees that work so tirelessly before, during, and after the storm. We would also like to thank our great citizens for their patience and cooperation while the city cleans up. This concludes another edition of City Focus. Be sure to visit our website, valdostacity.com. Like us on Facebook, Valdosta City Without Limits. Also like our Valdosta Youth Council page. Follow us on Twitter at City of Valdosta, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Metro 17 Valdosta, to watch City Focus on demand. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time here on City Focus.